Now it is time to meet Trish. Born and bred in Bathurst since 1981, she is a single mum of 3 gorgeous children. Carer for her husband, living with mental health struggles and running small businesses to support their family. She sees her town and community as the backbone of her existence. She loves interacting with people and being creative, and if she had a tagline in life, it would be #LoveMakingPeopleHappy. Introducing Trish Carr as she steps up to the mic to share her story.
Hi, my name's Trish, and I've been included in this performance as I'm here to tell my experience about caring and supporting someone who has bipolar disorder, my husband Ben. After completing a bachelor's degree at Charles Sturt University in psychology, I understand the textbook version of this condition all too well. The textbook version of bipolar focuses mostly on the sufferer and does not sort of shed much light on the actual people that are trying to stand around and support that person. Just over 2 years ago, I returned to painting, something I'd always enjoyed when I was younger. My husband Ben and I were together for 10 years before he learnt that I like to relax with a paintbrush and easel. It was around this time we were learning much more about each other. I have brought along some of the paintings to share with you tonight. There's some over to the side and behind us. I won't go into too much detail about the meaning of the paintings, but I think you can probably see the significance of the light and shade of the experience which we were living in. I believe as humans we're rational beings, and I constantly ask myself, where did all of this start to go wrong? And I think looking back, there's no single rational answer to that. I see Ben's workplace stress as a contributing factor at the time, and I also have a degenerative eye condition, and I was told I was not able to drive any longer. I think this condition, Ben's condition, my condition, coupled with just regular life stress, put us under increased pressure in 2017 and 2018. This is when I decided to start a new business venture. So the Yellow Door Guest House was born. I'm an optimist, and I always try to turn a negative situation into something positive, no matter how challenging that may be. The guest house was successful, and Ben really enjoyed working in that business with me. So after discussions with my cousin who owned a local events centre, we decided to invest in Carrington House, which is now known as Keystone 1889. We decided that Ben could then leave his stressful workplace and we would have enough business to support our family. Sadly, this was not the easy fix I had hoped for, as Ben's condition became increasingly worse. I tried to support him to get help, which was incredibly difficult. Ben wasn't always that easy to engage. Some loved ones also didn't really understand the seriousness of the situation and had opposed my attempts in seeking help. And after I'd seek help, I would just be racked with guilt. I was on an emotional deficit of my own. I had my health issues, our businesses to run, and care of our children. Ben's condition was an ever-present concern. In March, our finances began to experience the same strain as our emotional life had. The COVID-19 restrictions meant there were no guests at the guest house and there were no events at Keystone. We talk about the importance of people experiencing mental health issues to exercise self-care. This is not only important to individuals that are suffering with mental health concerns, but to all that collaborate to care for their loved ones with the illness. I believe that I needed to practice self-care for myself and our children too. Being forced to shut down, I think, came as a blessing in disguise. I finally had the time to think about us and with no external pressures. I had done the hardest thing I had ever done. I let Ben choose whether to engage with professionals in a mental health care plan or choose to be supported by other people. He chose the latter option. Ben's choice was extremely distressing for me, but it was an essential decision for my self-care and the care of our children. After working in the prison system with families and giving professional advice for nearly a decade, my own advice was actually the hardest to take. It was the reality check I needed. I leaned on the support of a GP, was referred to a psychologist, and have started some medication to regulate my sleep patterns, because I truly believe when we can sleep better, we just cope better. I then returned my focus to Keystone and began to declutter the space. I wanted to wallow, but I knew I needed to adult. A cluttered space is like a cluttered mind. This process helped me to regain a sense of control. Keystone felt fresher. Doing something productive helped me to develop a better outlook. While I had made the decision to put Keystone on the market, I still wanted to honour the original business plan. I really wanted the stage to come alive, to have the community come in, be a part of the space, and use the space as it was intended to, for it to be a hub of activity. If I had a hashtag in life, it would be hashtag love making people happy. Bringing different members of the community together to do things they love, rehearse and performing vicariously makes larger audiences happy. As restrictions have begun to ease and the theatre community is returning to normal life, I started to feel much more part of my local community again. When things weren't going well for my family over the past few years, I had wanted to withdraw. People lacked the insight to reach out and support me, supporting Ben. COVID-19 isolated me further, and I wanted to move away or crawl under a rock. The refreshing thing about a local community, knowing your situation, is that the walls that you start to build start to crumble. This Is My Brave was an ideal platform to share my experience. Through that, I learned that people were understanding. When you don't talk to people about what you're going through, you don't understand how they can talk to you about it. Meeting my fellow cast members and through the rehearsal process and publicity, a lot of people were seen to be, when you're vulnerable, it enables others to reach out. Being able to share your story is empowering because you're not trying to hide behind the fake news walls. 2020 has been a roller coaster. It has been a year of great change, of evolution and revolution and clarity. Moving forward, I would like to see Ben on a road to recovery, But in the meantime, I'll just keep gathering the strength to keep moving forward. Thank you for listening to my story.
Thank you, Trish.